Hello, and a very warm welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is Uzair, and I've got a very special guest and a friend with me, Chase from GoHighLevel. Hello, Chase. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks
Uh,
for
thank
having me, there.
no, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And I know you're going to share some really cool stuff with me. I'm super excited. But before we get started, can you please introduce yourself, who you are, what you do with High Level?
Sure thing. Yeah. My name's Chase Buckner. I'm the director of marketing over at High Level. I spend a lot of my time working with all of the teams, really, to kind of bring light to all the awesome stuff that we have going on. We release a lot of features and updates pretty frequently, so it can be a challenge. Like we were just chatting about before we started to record, of actually, informing everybody
Hmm.
about what's new, because it happens so rapidly. So that's something that we're always trying to get better at. But yeah, that's I get to work between the teams, so it's pretty fun.
And the great thing I love about High Level is you guys just do it and it's done, gets beats perfect every time. You don't try to make it perfect. You perfect as you go along, which I truly believe in. Because if you try to be a perfectionist, nothing gets done.
Yeah, that's something that I've actually had to learn to appreciate. When I joined the team, I was more on the side of perfectionism, right? Like why did we even roll that out? Like if we, if it didn't have this or that or this and that. And I've really come to appreciate the model that we operate under, which we call the skateboard model, which is we roll things out as a skateboard, and then we let our customers tell us, does it need to turn into a bicycle, a motorcycle, or a full-blown car? And it's very interesting when you do it that way. The pros are we release a lot of updates really fast, really frequently. What I've come to appreciate is when you launch a skateboard, it's more useful to a larger amount of people than you would guess. And sure, you have people that are like, but it can't do this yet, and it doesn't have that yet, and when is it going to do this? But that really, if you don't have that many people asking those questions, then you didn't need to put all that extra effort and time into it, because all that was really needed was a skateboard, or maybe a bicycle in the
Exactly.
metaphor. So
Yeah,
it's very interesting, and it's something I've come to appreciate.
exactly. It's the best way to go about it and just let it out there and get the feedback from customers and then perfect it as we go along. So let's get into the swing of things. I know you got
Sure.
some cool stuff to do. We as an agency use High Level. We love it. We couldn't run our agency without it. So it's something which I totally and all our team totally believe in, and we use it on a day-to-day basis. But as always, seeing you and learning from you is completely on a different level. So I think what we could do is give a quick overview as to the power and the potential of how somebody, even he or she, maybe a one-man band or with a small team, how you can leverage the power of High Level.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways, really, right? And the features set is so broad that it often helps to kind of choose a lens to
So,
approach this topic
so
with.
can we
And
just
go ahead,
focus
yeah.
on the lead generation or the contact management? Because I know, as you said, you got so many things and it's impossible to cover in a little video. So let's try and
Yeah,
focus on that contact management or lead generation where
yeah,
people are
yeah.
then.
And that's really our main customer, our lead gen agencies, right?
Yeah.
And that's the world that I came from. My team spent a lot of time actually coming up with something we call the lead gen playbook, which is kind of the map or the outline
Mm,
of what we see top agencies in the lead gen space doing with high level. And
nice.
so I can give you, let me show you that, because I think it helps
Yeah,
guide the conversation, and
absolutely.
then
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can we
Yeah.
could dive into any specific pieces
Yeah.
of it
You,
that you
you can
like.
share your screen. Yeah, absolutely.
So um, we always start here. And this is typically an eye opener for a lot of lead generation agencies because they're not thinking about this stuff. But this is actually really a superpower once you understand it. And that's that software, high level and specifically, can deliver a lot of automated wins right away. And these are really important because, as we know, as lead generators, if we're talking about Google ad campaigns specifically, it typically takes 2 weeks to get the first campaign off the ground, maybe faster, maybe longer, depending on the client and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to understand that when someone cuts you that first check for $1,500 or whatever it is that you're charging for your package,
Yeah.
every hour, day that goes by, they're thinking, did I make a good decision? Oh, that was a lot of money. I haven't heard anything from these guys. I know they told me it would be about 2 weeks, but they get impatient very quickly. So it's very important to have something that you can deliver right away that's going to produce value for them so that they don't start overthinking what's going on and that by the time your campaign goes live, they're already happy. So what are those things? Well, there's a few of them that are very, again, easy to set up, but very powerful. The first one that I always talk about is the web chat widget. So we can see this down here, right?
Yeah.
And so high level gives you the ability to put that on your client's sites or landing pages or whatever you want.
Mm.
And this, while it looks like a traditional live chat widget, it's actually what we call sort of the modern evolution of it. Whereas this is not live chat. If you fill this out, it's not going to say, we typically respond in 3 hours, right?
Okay.
Because nobody likes that. No
That's
one
right.
wants to have to sit
Mm.
on a website and wait. This is actually just a gateway into an SMS conversation. So as soon as you fill this out, it comes into high level as a conversation.
Yes.
So it goes here into the conversation stream as an SMS message. So now your client, or if you're using this for your own agency, you can reply via SMS and it'll go back to the person's phone. So we've untethered the user from the website, but we've maintained the lead. And
Nice.
so what's interesting is in this day and age, we all know that we don't like to talk on the phone, right? Like I get very annoyed if somebody calls me instead of texting me or WhatsApping me, right?
Yeah.
But yet our businesses haven't evolved. We're still expecting people to call us off the website. And so what happens is a percentage of the traffic to your client's sites are just leaving because they don't want to have to call. And as soon as you enable SMS, they take that option and they do chat in. And so right away, your clients are like, whoa, these new leads are coming in through SMS. How is this happening? It feels kind of magic, but really the traffic was already going there. It was just kind of swimming by.
Nice.
So I like to think of the chat widget as like a net. We're just dropping a net in a river that's carrying fish. Now we're just catching them. Um, and so that's my first one. And then when you combine that with Google My Business Chat, it's sort of like the same thing. A lot of people don't even know this exists.
That's right.
And so if you enable Google Business Chat through a Google Business profile,
Yeah.
when you're searching on Google Maps on your phone, or when you're searching in Chrome or any browser on your phone,
Mm.
a new button pops up that says message, and you can actually send like a chat through Google to the business. And when you integrate a Google Business Profile with high level, we pull those straight into this same conversation. And so I don't know if we have any, if I can find any real quick, but we can see like, I think, not sure what, if that's this is an SMS. So that might be the symbol for GMB chat.
Yeah.
Or actually, I
It
think
will
it would
come
show
in.
the Google symbol there.
Yeah, it will come in there.
Yeah. But the point is, it comes into the same place, right? And so now you can respond to SMS messages, emails, Google chats, Facebook messages, Instagram DMs,
Mm,
WhatsApp is rolling out. It's in beta
nice.
right now. So the same thing, your clients are getting a lot of traffic to their Google business profile, but they're not capitalizing on it because they haven't activated Google Chat. And so as soon as you turn that on, again, leads are going to start coming in,
Yeah.
and your client doesn't really understand where they're coming from, but they're thrilled, right? And so now we've added kind of two nets to the river, and we're catching more fish.
Yeah.
Then we go to the missed call text back, which is very powerful, which is what we can do is if call comes into your client and they don't answer it, which happens statistically a crazy amount of time every day,
Mm,
we just immediately send back a text message to that number that says, "Hey, sorry we missed your call. How can we help?" So you can imagine how powerful that is, especially if you're running click to call ads off of Google, right? If you're
wow.
working with people like, let's say, in the home services business where they're out on the job a lot. So they're
Yeah.
missing a lot of calls,
Yeah.
but they're paying for those calls, right? So, you know, my toilet's broken. I'm Googling plumber near me. I'm calling the first one. They don't answer. Okay, well, I'm going to start calling the next one, right? But while
Absolutely.
I'm doing that, I get a text from the first one that says, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Call. How can we help?"
Mm,
Two things happen. I don't call the next competitor, and I'm thrilled because I can text the business, right? We already talked about how nobody likes to call. So that's a really powerful feature. So when we set those three things up right away on day one, immediately our clients start seeing results and value.
yeah.
Um, and there's a couple more little ones like reputation management stuff.
Yes.
As soon as you connect Facebook and Google, we start pulling in the reviews, so
Mm,
you'll also get new reviews in the same stream that they can reply to.
mm,
um, we're consolidating
yeah.
all those channels into one, so it's just a ton of value that you can set up right away so that by the time your first ad campaign goes live, your clients are already happy, they're already committed to the relationship.
Nice.
So that's step number one. Number two is really here, and that's I'm gonna kill my screen share so I don't distract you while I go into this. But this is understanding that the major problem with lead generation and the reason why the churn rate is so high for lead gen agencies is because there is a disconnect in expectations.
Mm,
Our clients are used to referral business.
yeah.
They are used to people showing up at the door or calling in who have already been pre-sold by a friend or a family member or a review that they've seen.
Yeah.
And that's much, much different than a lead off the internet, as we know, right? It's a little bit better with Google ads because the intent is much higher. Facebook ads, it's very low. And
Mm,
so what happens is our clients, they decide, oh, we need to grow the business. We need leads.
yeah.
And so they go and they find us, right? And they say, I want leads. And we start generating leads. But what does that mean? Typically, it means we're driving people to a form where they can claim an offer, and then we're sending an email to our client saying, "Hey, here's your new lead." And we kind of think like, oh, job done. We delivered a bunch of leads at a pretty good price. Um, and what you'll find out pretty quickly is that your customers will say that they're not happy. These
Mm,
leads stink, the quality is not high enough, etc. And you end up in this kind of disconnected argument with your client of like, well, it sounds like you guys don't know how to close leads.
yeah.
And they take offense to that, right? Because they're very good at closing referrals. But again, they haven't made the
But the
connection that
leads.
these are two different things.
That's right.
So, what we as marketers need to understand is that we can't just generate leads. We actually have to take it one step further and we have to layer in some automated nurture.
Yeah.
The number one factor that goes into closing a lead is speed.
Yeah.
Statistically, it's really 1 to 5 minutes, and if you can't engage the lead in that time frame, statistically speaking, you've got like a 10% chance of ever closing the lead. So if we understand that and we look at what's going on at our clients' businesses, they just don't reply to leads quickly, right? It's typically hours or days before they actually get back to a lead that we generate for them.
Mm.
And when we look at that, knowing the 5-minute rule, it's just very clear as to why the campaigns aren't working and why the clients end up churning. So we need to take care of that with automation. And that's really when we jump into this step here, number 5, which is an automation in our workflow builder that's actually pre-built. So we can go, I'm going to just jump into a different account here so I don't muck up a real account. And so when you create a workflow, there's one in here called the Fast 5. And if we select that and load it up, this is really a fantastic nurture for any lead gen that you're running through a form, right?
Yeah.
Claim book scenario. Hey, claim this offer. And then the next step is typically to get you to book something, right?
Yeah.
So we feed them in here. This is adding them to a pipeline. I'm not really going to go into that, but yeah, hopefully you're using pipelines.
Yeah.
So then we're sending them an email, and this is kind of just, hey, thanks for claiming the offer. The next step's to book. Let us know if you have any questions. And that's kind of standard, right?
Yeah.
But here's where we kind of take the next step. And so we fire off a text message. Keep it conversational. Hey, thanks for claiming that offer. Next step is to get you booked. Is now a good time? Maybe you don't even go for the booking. You just ask a question. Have you ever had this service before? Whatever it may be. The idea is to get them to reply, because we know if we can engage them in the first 5 minutes, we have like an 80-something% chance of closing them. So we send a text and then we wait. We wait conditionally. We wait until they reply to the text, or we wait until 2 minutes has passed, whatever comes first. And then we check, okay, are we moving them forward because they replied or because 2 minutes passed? If we're moving forward because they replied, this is very cool. We use Google's artificial intelligence capability here, and we actually read the reply and determine if it were positive or negative.
Oh, wow.
And so it's very good, actually. It's surprisingly good at understanding, what's positive and what's negative. So it recognizes everything from like, sure, sounds good, let's do it.
Or if they say, oh, don't hassle me, go away, get lost, then you...
all that is negative, right? And so it will funnel them for you, and it'll send them down the either the yes or the no path. So if they replied positively, great, let's text them back. Here, great, here's the link to book.
Wow.
GoHighLevel has full online scheduling, so we can create the calendars in here and dynamically insert the booking links and whatnot. So that's like the ideal path, right? Somebody hit your landing page, they filled out the form, they replied to the text, and then they booked themselves. And that will happen, right? A percentage of the leads will do that, and that's amazing. Clients will be blown away by that, but a percentage won't. Right? They won't reply to the text.
No.
So what happens then? Well, after 2 minutes, they'd go down the no path, and we do what we call a call connect. And this is kind of like a secret weapon. So this, let's say we're running ads for a dentist, and we're offering a free teeth whitening session. And so the lead has claimed it. They didn't reply to the SMS. What happens when they get here is that the system will actually call your client, right? So we're calling the dentist office. And when someone at the front desk answers, they're going to hear a robot read whatever we type in here. So imagine I'm at the front desk of the dentist office. I answer the phone and I hear, hey, Chase's lead gen agency has generated another free teeth whitening lead. The lead's name is Bob Smith. Press any key to connect with Bob. So if they push a button on the phone, we're going to call the lead.
No,
and if the lead answers, we're going to bridge the call.
And we've been using GoHighLevel for quite a while, and this is something which we have never, ever used. Oh my God.
Yes. It's super powerful because we're trying to
Wow.
actually put our clients on the phone with the lead within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If the lead hasn't already
Yeah.
replied or booked
Yeah, because
themselves,
this is
right?
done manually by the setters, and then the closers come in, and this is like complete
Yeah.
automation.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's very powerful. And so we do that, but we won't stop there, right? If that doesn't work, let's say the
Okay.
front desk didn't answer or the lead didn't answer, or the front desk answered, but the lead didn't answer and we couldn't connect, we'll go ahead and roll into a voicemail drop. So this is a ringless voicemail. The lead's phone doesn't actually ring. They just get a push notification saying that they have a new voicemail. And that voicemail is just an
Oh,
MP3
really?
file
Oh,
that you
wow.
upload here. Yeah. So you upload the file here, and then that gets pushed to the phone. So when we step back and take a look at what just happened in the first 5 minutes
Mm,
of of every lead being generated,
yeah.
the old way we were just sending an email and kind of praying that our clients knew what to do with it. In the new way, we're sending emails, text messages, we're doing the call connect, we're
My
sending
God.
voicemails to try to get them to take that next step, which is
Wow.
booking an appointment. And so when you shift into this, you just see a dramatic increase in leads converting into
Converting.
booking.
No,
And then you realize that, hey, we're not in the lead gen agency. We're not in the lead gen business. We're in the booking business,
booking.
right? We're here to drive
Yeah.
leads that convert into bookings for you.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that changes everything.
this is a game changer, and this is, I mean, my mind is blown away, and I'm not just saying it for the sake of it, just because I'm talking to you right now. Tomorrow morning, we are going to implement this in our CRM, because, as you said, that we just have the same email automations going out one every other day and all that. Most of them probably go in the waste bin, and nothing is ever clicked or opened. But this is something which is, wow, is unbelievable. Um,
It's if you've done call track or call recording in the past, it's super powerful, right? Because you can go listen to what's being said. But
yeah,
once you open up SMS, it's a whole new world, right?
yes,
Because you install what we just did or we just looked at, and now when you're reviewing your clients' accounts,
yeah,
it's crystal clear what's going on, right? It's like, Dr. Bob, look at this. You had 45 people reply to our text asking you great questions, and it took you guys 8 hours to text them back. Like, what's going on here? And then you've got a client that's going to stick, right? Because they understand that it's not your fault.
yes,
You've taken a lead and gotten them to the point where they've actually engaged.
yeah,
And that's when clients get serious about, okay, my staff's just really busy. How do we take this further, right? And maybe you have call setters that you can put in
absolutely,
place, or you
yeah,
have people that can man the chats for them, or maybe you talk to them about hiring somebody to just man the high level account. But the point is, you've got to put it in place. If you're not using automation
yeah,
and you're doing lead gen, you're really just lighting a lot of money on fire,
yeah.
and you're setting yourself up for a lot of pain because you're
Pain,
going to
and
lose
you're leaving a
clients.
lot of cash on the table. I mean,
Yeah,
this is like free money, literally,
big time.
in the real world, and it's
And what's
incredible.
great is we give you a mobile app, right? So
Yes,
you can give your client the mobile app, and now all of this is just happening right in their pocket. So
oh,
it's just buzzing, and they can go right in and answer the questions. They can make the
questions,
bookings right in the mobile app.
mobile app.
And then you can take it even further, right? We can do really cool stuff like we could say, um, let's just run with this example, right? So we've got this fast five running for our dentist. Well, let's say um, when that text message goes out,
Yeah,
people were replying to it, and they keep asking the same questions. Well, we could take it a step further. We could actually do the work for our client, and we could say, hey, if a customer replies and they're in the workflow that we just set up, and their reply contains the word or phrase, let's say, in
Yes.
Invisalign.
Was a line. Yeah.
I'm not sure how you spell that, but maybe it's like
A
that. I don't
line.
know. We'll
Yeah.
say it's like
Lign.
that. And set that as our trigger. Well, then let's just send the reply with the yes, we do Invisalign. It's
Mm,
great, blah, 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 whatever we want to say.
yeah.
But the point is, we can actually send the replies for our clients for their most frequently asked questions by
Mm,
building little chat bots
mm.
that look for phrases or words within the messages that come
So
back.
can you also do this with a Facebook group where you say reply yes to receive a free gift?
Facebook groups, no.
No. Okay.
Facebook messages, yes. Instagram DMs, yes.
Okay. Nice.
Which is powerful, right? So imagine like your Instagram profile, you could
Yeah.
put, do you want access to my course? DM me,
Yeah.
give me the course, and then you
Yeah.
can have this waiting and just send them
Automation.
back the
Nice.
access. You
Nice.
can build courses in high level. So you can actually, in that scenario, we could say like, um, in our trigger, we could have said, instead of replying to a workflow, we
Yeah.
could say, channel is Instagram,
Nice.
contains phrase, you know, I want the course.
Yeah.
We could actually come in here and then grant the course to them.
Wow.
So we could say, no, I don't have any courses built in
Yeah,
this
of course.
subaccount,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
I
can
get you.
choose
I
it
get the
here.
gist. Yeah.
It would grant the access, which is going to send them their login
Yeah.
information, and now
Yeah.
they're in there.
Brilliant.
Likewise, you can automate the removal of access to courses.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
So
This is,
workflows are super powerful. I mean, there's tons of things that you can do in here
yeah.
with workflows. But yeah, I mean, so what I was saying was, imagine, you know, you work with a niche, you know the industry, you know the common questions, right? And so you can actually automate the responses to those for your
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah.
Imagine how many times a day a restaurant gets asked about gluten-free or
Yeah.
vegetarian,
That's right.
um, whatever industry you're in, use
Absolutely.
those
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
keywords.
I mean, this is just unlimited amount of, I mean, you're only restricted by your imagination. You can do pretty much, it's a blank canvas.
Mhm.
You can pretty much do anything. Now, I want to be respectful of your time as well as I don't want to dilute the content which you've already given us because I just want everybody to
Yeah.
focus on this. But even if they just take action on this, but it can potentially change your business, your lives, because, and I know I'm not saying this very lightly, but increasing the conversion rate is what we should be focusing on and not spending more on ads. Now, if this little
100%.
workflow, which is available for free, can increase your conversion rate by 10, 15, 20%, imagine what can happen to your bottom line as well as the top line. So,
Yep. I would
uh,
say so there are two takeaways to today. And Usair, we obviously have so much more we could talk
yeah,
about. I hope I get to come back and join you
I'm
again in the
going
near
to hassle you and nag you to come back
future.
again and give me all these golden
Okay,
nuggets which are hidden inside high level.
great. So the two takeaways today that I hope you walk away from this video with are number one, don't do lead gen without automation behind it because you're just leaving money on the table. Number two, um, the churn rate on lead gen is high.
Yeah.
The churn rate on software is extremely low. So
Mm.
if you can install some automated software wins for your client right away, as soon as you sign them, you're going to retain your clients for much, much longer. So, High Level has a 14-day free trial. If you haven't
Brilliant.
checked it out already, we'd love for you to check it out. Uzair can get you the link.
I'll send you the link here
Um,
already around this video. Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you
but yeah,
so
we're just
much. It's
scratching the
always a,
surface. So
yeah, we
hopefully
will
we'll talk
catch
about
up
more.
again, definitely for sure, because these are something really incredible what you've just shown us. And I'll put the links under the video and around this video. But thank you so much, Chase, for being here and for your time. Truly appreciate it. And it's just been incredible.
Thanks for having me. It's been my pleasure and look forward to coming back soon.
Cool. Thanks a lot.